Hello people, this is Big Boss Calvin 83. In today's video, dear Caucasian people, specifically, and you other non-Caucasian people that want to pretend that you're Caucasian but you're really not, and try to fit in with them, stop telling the original people of color that we're just imagining racism. And specifically Caucasian people, y'all need to stop with that bullshit. Stop telling us as people of color, also known as so-called black people, that we are imagining racism. Stop that bullshit. You are wrong. To be that the damn dismissive and insensitive shows you and shows us that you are a racist piece of shit. To be that dismissive and insensitive about people of color's plight, that just proves our point that you are the majority of Caucasian people in America and even worldwide are fucking racist. But especially in America, because it's overdrive. In this country, also known as the United States of America, free case, don't get it twisted. I mean, I've been hearing this lately, man. I mean, I always heard it, but I never really touched on it until now. When you racist, pale-skinned monkey motherfuckers say that shit, what y'all really saying is, or say some dumb shit, or you're playing the race card. Well, you're playing your white privilege card. You're playing your racist card, your bigot card. You got a lot of cards. You're the one who set up the damn deck. We're not playing no damn race card. Okay? We're speaking truth. We're not playing no cards. This is reality. We don't play no damn games like you motherfuckers do. When we hear, oh, we're just imagining racism is all in our fucking heads, and you're playing the race card even though you set up the damn deck of cards and force us to play this racist game known as America, the most racist country on earth. What you're really saying is code suffer in silence niggers. That's what it is, y'all. When the truth of the matter is, if you look throughout history, racism is a fact. You ask dumb questions. You ask people of color dumbass questions that why we talk about race. Obviously, you don't experience racism if you got to ask a dumbass question. And you can miss me with that reverse racism bullshit. Stop playing that reverse racism card. Every time y'all talk about your so-called reverse racism or accuse a so-called black person of being a black racist, we don't sell y'all imagining shit. Funny how that is, when there's no such thing as reverse racism. And I'll tell you again. I'm gonna keep telling you again. Racism, you have to have power and own shit to be a racist. You gotta control the damn government. You gotta control the damn banks. You gotta control the corporations. And you gotta control real estate. Own property to be a fucking racist. Yes. You're the majority of y'all people own the corporations where you decide whoever you hire, whoever the hell you want to hire, and decide who you want to not hire. And if you got a few people of color employed, you can decide to fire them anytime you fucking want for whatever bullshit ass reason. That's racism. When it comes to deciding who gets the loan and who doesn't get the loan, you hold the cards to being a racist. Okay? When it comes to government deciding who's entitled to certain shit, who gets certain things, such as grants, public assistance, welfare, If you hold the cards to tell which group of people is entitled to shit, and it's mostly Caucasian people on fucking welfare and on public assistance and aid and other social programs geared towards them. Y'all control affirmative action. Caucasian women benefit from affirmative action more than any other group. So y'all obviously got the power to be fucking racist. Y'all got nepotism, favoritism. Like I said, y'all control the job market, y'all control real estate, and you decide where people of color cannot go and cannot live. It's called redlining. That's racism. Decide if we qualify to have a loan or fucking not. That's racism. Y'all control the law enforcement. Y'all own the military. That's racism. And y'all motherfuckers are known for not only being racist throughout history, but also continue to do it to this damn day, and colonializing and subjugating people and marginalizing people of color as well. Y'all motherfuckers enslaved. I mean, y'all the ones, if you look throughout history, people of color were a victim of being enslaved by Caucasians. But you turn a blind eye to that shit. Colonialism, especially colonialism in Africa. Then you got parts of Asia being colonialized. You know, and then you got the part and the colonialism going on in North America and other so-called Spanish countries, also called Latin America. But you get what I'm saying with Latinos being a victim of colonialism. Okay, don't want to get off subject. So when it comes to Africa being colonialized, Asia being colonialized, and other parts of non-European countries being colonialized and victims of subjugation and marginalization and victims of genocide, and these people being exploited, women and children, and men are being raped and sodomized, y'all dropping bombs on people for whatever the fuck you want to do it for, and terrorizing different groups of people. Y'all the ones who are racist. And stealing land and stealing resources and manipulating people and telling them to hate themselves and eradicating their culture, their language, their religions, and forcing them to obey your fucking rules. That's racism and oppression itself. Now when it comes to so-called black people, you're the ones who are victims of racial oppression more so than any other group. Like I said before, you look at y'all control the jobs. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people of color are unemployed. Don't give me that affirmative action bullshit, because I already told you, Caucasian people, specifically Caucasian women and gays and other ethnicities benefit from affirmative action. Caucasian males more so benefit from nepotism. That's real. So when people of color talk about our experiences, and even other ethnic people of color talk about racism, even though y'all gave them reparations, y'all give them loans, bank loans, business loans, y'all give them more public assistance and even welfare to a degree, to shut them up, so you make them think that they're part of the American dream, which is bullshit. That's just another form of. That's just causing more division within among people of color and other ethnic people of color. That's that game y'all playing. That's what y'all motherfuckers do. However, so-called black people do not own don't control the workforce. We don't control corporations. We built corporations, but y'all control and maintain them, and y'all decide if you want to hire us. And a lot of times we're the last to be hired and first to be fucking fired. Y'all most of the time deny us loans for whatever bullshit reason. It doesn't matter how qualified we are. It doesn't matter how good and awesome our credit is. It doesn't matter. Even if most of the time it's better than most of y'all Caucasian motherfuckers' credit is, we still get denied loans, business loan, grants. We still get denied our opportunities to go to school. Y'all, I mean, this is institutional racism is real out here. Systematic racism is real. Since so-called black people do not control the corporations, since we're not big time, since the majority of us are not employers, and we don't control law enforcement, we don't control the court system, we don't control the banks, and the overall government, and the whole fucking infrastructure of this country, and definitely damn sure don't own the military to attack and kill, murder, maim, and rape, and pillage, and commit other heinous acts and commit genocides on other people, other groups of people, that is, we cannot be racist. And then we have never eradicated, especially, we never put Caucasian people in fucking bondages, or anybody in fucking bondage for that matter. Never have, especially in this country. We have never enslaved Caucasian people. Okay? We never eradicated them and damn near destroyed their language, their native tongue, robbed them of their language, stripped them of their culture, steal their customs, steal their land, steal their resources and wealth. We never got free slave labor from Caucasian people, where we are the original slave masters, like that. In America, free K's, don't get it twisted. Okay, we never had. I mean, you don't see so-called black people brutalizing Caucasian people throughout history. We don't own a so-called black police force where we are pulling over Caucasian people, driving while Caucasian, or driving while white, walking while white, and racially profiling Caucasian people, shooting unarmed Caucasian people and wrongfully, and getting by with it, and getting paid leave, and then you don't see so-called black people opening up these when you got these so-called black officers killing Caucasian people, setting up a GoFundMe program and donating millions of dollars so they can get off and make them wealthy. That doesn't fucking happen. We don't celebrate the deaths of Caucasian people being murdered by other so-called black people and so-called black cops. We don't do that shit. And you'll want to be your so-called black George Zimmermans of the world. We don't glorify murders and deaths, and we want to pretend to be them for Halloween. We don't put on whiteface. We never had Jim Crow. We never segregated against Caucasian people because we didn't have the power to. And we don't even think like that. We're going to bring you over from Europe, and then we're going to get 500 years of free slave labor, and then commit the almost heinous acts of feeding so-called white babies to alligators as alligator bait. Feeding the babies to so-called white babies to alligators to keep Caucasian people in line. Raping their women and children. Having different plantations and breaking up their Caucasian families and sending them to different plantations and forcing them to breed each other with incest, having sex with each other with different Caucasian people, having a breeding farm, even forcing them to have sex with their parents and brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles. That's not us. No, we never treated y'all like guinea pigs and inject syphilis in y'all and create these diseases and infect and try to kill you off, Caucasian folks, like syphilis and all the forms of diseases, AIDS, HIV. Then we never have, and you don't see so-called black doctors, black men, butchering Caucasian women's vaginas for health experiments, medical reasons. That's not us. So y'all can miss me with that reverse racist bullshit. I mean, I can go on and on how so-called black people cannot be fucking racist. But we don't tell But you don't. But even when y'all scream reverse racism, we don't not dismiss them and say, "Oh, you're just imagining shit. Oh, you're just imagining black racism, reverse racism." It's all in your heads. You need to get over the fucking past. We don't tell Jews, we don't tell Caucasians to get over 9/11. We don't tell Caucasian people to get over the fucking Holocaust. We don't tell Caucasian people to get over the Korean fucking War, Vietnam War. And then we don't tell Caucasian people to get over the American Revolution, get over the fucking Alamo, get over World War I and World War II. So what you so-called white soldiers were killed, but y'all killed other people, especially other people of color. I mean, come on. Shit. I mean, y'all got me pissed off again. I need to stop letting y'all piss me off like this. That's why my videos are so long. You know, it's like ridiculous. We're not dismissive of Caucasian people's bullshit ass plight. They don't have a fucking plight. We don't tell y'all to get over the American Revolution, the Alamo, get over Pearl Harbor, and 9/11. And y'all being oppressed and persecuted by Arabs and crucified by Arab people. But y'all Caucasian folks say, well, it wasn't just us that enslaved y'all, it was the Arabs. But my thing is, we ain't talking about them. We ain't talking about you motherfuckers. We talking about you pale skin motherfuckers, because y'all took it to another fucking level. Caucasian people are dominating this fucking planet, not that Middle Eastern people like that. So you can miss me with that deflection. We haven't killed children, raped children, molested children. No, Caucasian people are the biggest pedophiles, both male and females. I mean, every time I see an article, I see a female teacher having sex with a male student. What does that tell you? Or male Caucasian people having sex with a female student, or a boy, or a female student having sex with a female student, female teacher having sex with a female student. I mean, but there's excuses and rationalization for that bullshit. Whew. I mean, it's ridiculous when y'all cry that reverse racism bullshit. I mean, I think I made myself clear on it. There's no such thing as reverse racism. You know, I mean, y'all want to talk. I mean, y'all own your own TV networks. Y'all own Viacom. Y'all even own BET. The only reason why we had BET and other a few private so-called black networks and TV programs is because y'all wouldn't hire us. You didn't want a diverse cast. The only time you did that shit is until you started getting views and making money. So you hired a few so-called minorities, some so-called blacks, some Latinos, some Asians, and then a lot of gays, and that's it. But y'all control the media. We ain't demonizing. You don't see so-called black people demonizing and bashing Caucasian people left and right. Shit. And then promoting these negative stereotypes. That's not us. But y'all do that to us. You Caucasian folks do that to people of color. So this country was built on racism and Caucasian supremacy. This country was built by the biggest evil, inhumane motherfuckers on the fucking planet. I mean, the stuff that you did to so-called black people. Look what you did to the Native Americans and stole their land, gave them diseases of smallpox, and took their land away, and fucked them over. But y'all did it too. But y'all sometimes acknowledge that. But y'all gave them a little reparations. But when it came to so-called black people, we didn't get nothing. Free slave labor for 400, 500 years. You're reaping the benefit. And don't give me that, well, you had nothing to do with it. Yes, you did, because you're reaping the benefits of what your evil forefathers and mothers have done. Not only that, you have Caucasian women lying on brothers left and right, where towns were being fucking destroyed, like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rosewood, Florida. You never seen so-called black women falsely accuse Caucasian men of rape and being robbed and attacked. Where are your so-called white Emmett Tills at? Where are your so-called white Tamir Rice's, your so-called white Eric Garner's, Sandra Bland, your so-called white Rekia Boyd, your so-called white Renisha McBride people at being murdered by so-called black cops and so-called other black people. I rest my fucking case. Y'all the ones who are fucking racist. And for you to tell us to get over it, that's racism, and that's a racist statement. Because y'all don't tell Jews, y'all don't tell the Japanese, y'all don't tell the Native Americans, y'all don't tell the Mexicans to get over it. You don't tell other Caucasian people to get over it. Get over their fucking history. No, you tell your kids fucking history. And you tell them lies and bits and pieces of so-called black history. So-called black history is so-called black American history is also American history, which really should call. And don't give me that, well, y'all have a Black History Month. Well, you have a so-called White History Month that's every month. White History Month is every 12 months out of the fucking year. Out of one out of 12. 1 month out of the shortest month so-called black people have as a history, nothing gets covered. We get the same regurgitated lies and bullshit. You talk about the good parts of Martin Luther King, but you don't talk about why you killed Martin Luther King. When he started talking about reparations and started getting poor Caucasian people and waking them up to the bullshit, how they were being exploited by elite Caucasian people. Martin Luther King helped everybody, and so-called black people have been helping everybody else, but we get treated like shit in this damn country. Everybody's reaping the benefits of our hard work of the civil rights movement, but we get treated like shit. And Caucasian people have always benefited off of whatever we fucking did and done. Okay? You don't see Caucasian people stabbing other Caucasian people in the back to get so-called love from so-called African Americans. That don't fucking happen. Y'all don't have self-hatred like that. But y'all created a self-hatred among people of color and other ethnic group of people of color. Such as the Asians, East Indians, the Latinos, and so-called Hispanics as well. And Middle Easterners. And other ethnic groups of color. Okay? But you need to stop being so damn dismissive of people of color, especially so-called black people. When we talk about racism, it's fucking real. Our experiences is fucking real. The fucking past and how it affects us today and the future is fucking real. Y'all don't, it's funny how I don't hear Caucasian men tell Caucasian women, oh, when they talk about sexism and bitch about sexism, particularly the Caucasian feminist, y'all so damn afraid to tell your women that, oh, it's just in your imagination that you're experiencing sexism. The pay gap, the gender wage gap is just an imagination. I have proved the reason why women, get paid less. I'm not going to go into that, okay? That's another video. I already covered that. Because they work fewer hours and they take days off and they don't work the dangerous jobs. They work the cushy jobs. That's why, okay? But y'all don't tell, oh, y'all just imagining sexism. Oh, you're just imagining rape. There's no such thing as a rapist. There's no rapists out here raping y'all. And that's true. But, my thing is, if women were, with Caucasian women, y'all dress like fucking sluts and whores. Boy shorts, you always exposing your goods, getting drunk and crazy and irresponsible, reckless with your bodies and being a fucking tease. And if rape culture really existed like that, then y'all be try to dress like the Muslim women over in the Middle East and these Islamic countries. But that doesn't happen. But y'all Caucasian men are fucking pussies. Y'all don't tell your women, oh, you're just imagining misogyny. You're just imagining sexism. You're just imagining Donald Trump grabbing you by the pussy. And when a Caucasian woman accuses somebody of rape, accuses a man of rape, y'all don't tell her, oh, it's just in her fucking head, or saying she just got raped, oh, that's an imagination, or you don't question her if she got raped or not and find out if it's true, especially if she accuses a so-called black man of rape. No, y'all believe her right away. Y'all don't ask questions. You don't try to find out the truth. No, y'all, because Caucasian women are afraid of accusing a Caucasian man of rape because they be called out on their bullshit. Well, what did you do to get to put yourself in that situation? How they would basically blame the victim, the so-called victim. You shouldn't have been dressing like that. You shouldn't have been drunk and irresponsible. You shouldn't have been fucking being a fucking slut. You shouldn't have had a train man on you. You shouldn't have been fucking whoring around. You shouldn't have been prick teasing, strip teasing with other men. She should have been a fucking hoe. No, y'all baby her, y'all coddle the bitch, and you believe her, and you just do destruction and damage to the so-called black communities in the fucking nation and even in the goddamn world. You don't see so-called black women falsely accusing Caucasian men of rape, and then you got a group of so-called black men or like a fucking lynch mob lynching the cracker at stake, burning them a fucking line, burning them a fucking live, and then killing Caucasian men, locking up Caucasian men left and right for a false accusation that a so-called black woman said about a Caucasian man. That doesn't fucking happen. Not saying it doesn't. I mean, it just don't happen often. It just doesn't happen at all, almost. You know, so-called black men falsely accusing Caucasian men of rape, robbery, sexual assault. When the truth of the matter is, you got a lot of sisters who are victims of that. But where are the allies of where are the so-called white female allies at when black women are raped by Caucasian men? They're nowhere to be fucking found. They're fucking silent. Wake up, black feminists. You're being played. When you had that cop rape them sisters, where were the feminists at? Where were the gays at? Nowhere to be fucking found. Where are these other groups at? Nowhere to be fucking found. The national organization didn't do shit because it's because it only cares about Caucasian women's issues and just Caucasian people and families and children. So, I mean, I know I'm all over the place with this video, but I'm just saying, I mean, like I said, when Caucasian women talk about sexism, just gender discrimination, lack of equal pay, Caucasian men say, oh, it's just in your imagination. Oh, just get over it. Oh, it's in your fucking head. Stop bitching and complaining. Shut up. And when the Jews talk about, when the Jewish people talk about anti-Semitism, y'all don't tell them, oh, you wasn't in the Holocaust, you wasn't in the fucking ovens, you need to get over the Holocaust, it's in the fucking past. Oh, you just imagining anti-Semitism. There's no hatred going on against the fucking Jews. There's no war against the fucking Jews. Y'all don't say that shit. And when the gays talk about discrimination and gays being victims of homophobia, when you got these homophobic people, mostly Caucasian people, Caucasian males, beating up on gay males and even females, gays and lesbians, attacking the gay lesbian communities, y'all don't tell them, oh, the homophobia, oh, it's just in your fucking head. There's no people homophobic. And, you know, gays being victims of discrimination and gays being hated and being terrorized by heterosexual people. Oh, that's just a fucking myth. Y'all need to stop lying. Y'all just exaggerating. Y'all don't say that shit. Even when other ethnic groups of color talk about racism, you're just a little dismissive, but you sympathize them a little bit and stop it for a little bit. And because you want to pander to those groups because you're not threatened by them. You're not threatened by Asian people. I don't hear Caucasian man being threatened by the Asian man. Same with the Latino man. Same with the Arab man. Y'all fear the so-called black man, though. Y'all don't fear these other groups of color but y'all use them as foot soldiers to do your dirty work. And since they got their own shit and they're doing well for themselves, and you're not Caucasian people. Now you want to talk about, oh, we got to take our country back and all that shit. Truthfully, you want to go back to the 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s, go back to way back in the fucking past, and have your Jim Crow and slavery, say the word nigger, and terrorize people of color, especially so-called black people. And then if you had the chance, you want to put us back in fucking chains. But you're doing that with the fucking prisons. So when so-called black people are talking about racism and Caucasian supremacy and institutional racism and systematic racism overall and discrimination, we're not lying. You know we're not lying. You just want us to shut up and suffer in silence. But when y'all don't get it's funny when y'all get fucked over by the system, by your own system, you want to cry reverse racism when there's no such thing. Y'all bitch and complain about, well, I didn't get accepted to a certain school because of a nigger. You blame people of color for your fucking failures. Maybe because you didn't have the grades. Maybe because you didn't qualify. Ever heard about? What about the other Caucasian people who got accepted over your dumbass? You don't accuse them of fucking you over. And that happens a lot of times because Caucasian people have connections. They have privilege, the privilege of having nepotism. They benefit off of nepotism. Maybe they had more nepotism than your dumbass, Caucasian male and female, but you don't say that. But you don't acknowledge that. You just blame so-called black people for your fucking failures and shortcomings when you don't have no fucking case. But people of color got a fucking case, but you tell us, oh, stop blaming us. No, we're going to blame you because we're going to blame the system, because we're not blaming the average Caucasian person who don't got power like that, but y'all think y'all have power like that. You benefit off of Caucasian supremacy and white privilege. You know y'all do. When y'all don't get the job, or don't get the promotion, or a so-called black person gets ahead of you, or even an ethnic person of color gets the job, but you're always blaming so-called black people for the fact that you didn't get the job and they got the job over you, or they got a promotion over you. But you don't slam Asian people, you don't slam East Indian people, you don't slam Middle Eastern people, you don't slam Latino people, especially the Mexicans who take your jobs, who you let take your jobs away. But you don't blame them, but you blame so-called black people. But you call us lazy when we built this fucking country. Get the fuck out of here with your racism. I mean, it's fucking funny. I mean, like I said before, you're accusing so-called black people of taking your jobs, even though it's not the case. But you don't talk about the other groups taking the jobs. You don't accuse Caucasian people taking a job, another Caucasian person taking that job opportunity from you and taking that job from you. You know, or when it came down to promotion, a person of color got promoted over you, but you don't accuse the other Caucasian people who got promoted over you and got a raise over your dumbass. Maybe because you wasn't productive. Maybe you had a shitty work. Your work was shitty. Your performance was shitty. You came in late all the time. You took longer breaks than usual. You left early. You took more days off. You cry like a fucking bitch, Caucasian man. Especially the Caucasian male. I mean, I know the Caucasian female cries sexism constantly, but the Caucasian male is fucking comical. But you got a lot of Caucasian women taking your jobs away, Caucasian man, but you blame niggers. And getting the promotions over you. Getting more stuff out of you. I mean, the thing is, but you blame so-called black people who do not have no fucking power in this fucking country. And when I say we can't be racist, I don't have no power, why do y'all get fucking mad? I don't understand why y'all get mad, because if someone told me the truth and showed me the facts that, hey, there's no such thing as reverse racism, and there's no such thing as black racism, and black people don't have power, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? If I was a Caucasian person and they told me, well, I don't have to worry about racism, I don't have to worry about discrimination, I don't have to worry about institutional racism, systematic racism, I don't have to worry about that shit. I don't have to worry about racial profile. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and I don't have to be stereotyped and treated like shit and treated disrespectfully when I patronize their fucking business. And if somebody disrespected me personally and started acting funny and following me around and questioning me, why am I here and doing here? I would not shop at that store ever again. But that's me. And gave me shitty service, give me a shitty product, give me shitty food, shitty service, I'm never coming back there again, and you won't get a dime from me. But that's me. But a lot of y'all Negroes need to start boycotting these businesses, especially these non-black owned businesses. Okay. I mean, the truth of the matter is, like I'm saying, is Caucasian people and even you other ethnic groups of people of color, When you got African people, African Americans, Nubian people, so-called black people, whatever title you want to go by, when you got so-called black people talking about racism and Caucasian supremacy and white privilege and especially racism, that is fucking real. It's the fucking truth. So don't be dismissive and turn a blind eye to it, because when y'all get fucked over and something happens to you and you feel like you've been treated unfairly by your own system, Caucasian people, or if you're an ethnic group of person of color and you've been fucked over, if you're a Latino person or an Asian person or an Arab person or an other, and you feel like you've been fucked over, when you get your nigger moment, you want to help, you're crying for so-called black people to help you. Well, fuck you. I say fuck you, and you're on your own. When to you Caucasian people, when you get fucked over by the system, by your own system, by the so-called white elite who run this planet, who run this country, and you get fucked over by a wealthy Caucasian person, and especially if you're a poor Caucasian person, when you get your nigger moment and it backfires on your fucking ass, don't ask for black, so-called black people and other ethnic group of people of color to help you, especially so-called black people. Don't ask so-called black people to help you out, and we gotta stand together and unite, and we gotta fight this oppression. Because my response is fuck you. There's no such thing. It's all in your fucking head. Y'all ain't getting discriminated. Your jobs ain't getting outsourced, even though they are. Y'all ain't getting cheated out of services. You know, I guess when I see a homeless Caucasian person, I should just keep fucking moving. When they talk about how they've been fucked over, especially when they serve in the fucking military. You're a fucking veteran and you getting fucked over by your own fucking government. I thought you were all American. A lot of Caucasian people claim to be so patriotic, but when that system fails you, you're not patriotic no damn more. I mean, that's hypocrisy. But our patriotism is fucking questioned when the so-called black people have done everything in this fucking country. When the truth of the matter is that you want us to support Caucasian supremacy. That so-called patriotism is not really patriotism. It's fucking racism and Caucasian supremacy and white privilege. I mean, you have no right to question our patriotism. Why should people of color be patriotic to a fucking country that ain't patriotic to us? You Caucasian people are not patriotic, because if you were patriotic, you would make sure everybody gets treated fairly. You would stop being racist. You would stop teaching your children to hate people of color. You would make sure we would have got our 40 acres in a fucking mule and stop making excuses why we can't get it. But you get these other groups, and not only that, you take our tax dollars and give these other countries reparations. You give them aid to build up their nation, but to better their nation. You give these other groups aid and grants and other free shit and you build up their communities. But when it comes to so-called black people, we get asking for reparations. Hey, oh, we don't deserve shit. We gotta wait our fucking turn. When we shouldn't have to wait our fucking turn. We are the first. We're the ones forced to be over here. So we should be rewarded for our hard work. I mean, and it's not a handout. When somebody owes you something, it's not a fucking handout. I mean, you gave everybody else restitution but us. But you gave them handouts, and you motherfuckers got the most of the handouts. You always had a handout. You always committing some kind of financial welfare fraud, insurance fraud. Y'all get welfare more than anybody else. So shut the fuck up with that handout. Y'all always getting handouts. When you had so-called black slaves, they were your free grant. They were your fucking loan that you didn't have to pay back. Y'all, that's how y'all got your businesses. That's how y'all got your houses. That's how you got your market value up. I mean, that's how you financially prosper and benefit off of the backs of so-called black people. So miss me with that bullshit. I mean, it's just pretty. I mean, it is what it is. You just motherfuckers don't want us to have shit. And then if a few of us do have something, we gotta shut the fuck up. No, we ain't gonna shut the fuck up, because my people are still suffering. Just because I'm living good doesn't mean doesn't mean I don't care about the next person. I care about people, period. I want other people to live good as just like me. Just like you Caucasian want other Caucasian people to live just as good as you do. Well, I hope, well, some of y'all don't, but y'all still work together and stick together and still build with each other and still unite with each other, especially when it comes to that racist bullshit that you're on. Y'all Caucasian people stick together like nobody else. Just look at Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump. They got Donald Trump in office, y'all. What does that tell you? These motherfuckers stick together. Especially, so these good Caucasian people defend these bad Caucasian people tells me that they're fucking racist the whole time. They're all fucking liars. Oh, y'all like to pretend you're liberal, you're open-minded, you don't judge people by the color of their fucking skin, you fair. You're not a, you don't hate people. When you actually do hate people, you are a closet racist. And your so-called black friends and other ethnic friends of color, no, a lot of them don't have no crap. Most of them are self-haters, especially your so-called black friends. A lot of your so-called black friends don't have fucking black pride and love of self, and don't want to know their fucking history, don't want to have so-called black knowledge. And because when y'all said some racist shit, they would have checked your fucking ass, and a lot of times the friendship would have ended. If your so-called black friend would have talked about reparations and talked about racism and Caucasian supremacy and how you benefited off of white privilege and nepotism, you don't want to be friends with us no damn more. So we gotta please you, and worship you, and kiss your fucking ass for fucking acceptance. Fuck that shit. I mean, most of these so-called black friends are not more than self-hating, handkerchief-head, Negro-peeing coons. Same with these other ethnic people of color who are your fucking friends, like your Latino friend, your Asian friend. A lot of them have got self-hate issues too. A lot of them secretly want to be Caucasian too, just like these Negro-peeing ass coons. Same with your. Then you got you talk about your Asian friend, you talk about your Latino friend, your Middle Eastern friend, another ethnic people of color who are your so-called friends. When the truth of the matter is, they're self-haters, and they worship Caucasian people, and they want to be accepted by Caucasian people, and they hope that they would just be, they will bond with you, and hopefully they can get ahead and survive in the society. They coon a different way. But when I speak to you, when it comes to your so-called black friends, you can miss me with that bullshit. Just because you have a so-called black friend doesn't mean you're less racist. Actually means you're more of a closet racist. Because like I said, them Negroes are nothing more than self-hating ass, Stephen Fetch, Negro bedwench, Negro-peeing coons. Motherfuckers. Who secretly want to be Caucasian themselves and want to be white and want to be accepted by so-called white people and be part of the white establishment and be part of white culture. And hopefully they get ahead, or they just want to sit at masses table. That's what that is. Because if when it came down to having a so-called black friend like me, I would call you out on your racism. If you said something racist shit, I'd call you out on it. If I spoke about my fucking point and you would dismiss about that, you get cursed the fuck out. So that's why I don't have a lot of so-called white friends. Because I don't take no bullshit. I don't take no shit, no abuse from you motherfuckers. And that's why y'all hate me so damn much. And that's why you troll my goddamn channel the way y'all do. Because you can't now handle the goddamn truth. You know racism is real. It's just you're just happy that you don't live it. You know it's out there, but you're afraid to say something. And if you're a Caucasian person who's not fucking racist, then you need to call out the bullshit within your Caucasian group. You need to check these racist Caucasian motherfuckers. If you're not a Caucasian person who's racist, then you need to check other Caucasian people who are racist and call out the bullshit and actually say that racism does fucking exist. Because if you say something, they actually listen to you more so. And if you are if you're an Asian person, if you're a Latino person, and if you are a Middle Eastern person, and you're not prejudiced against so-called black people, but you know you know the bullshit that there is racism, and you especially just prejudice going on. You know, other people in your group are prejudiced against black people, and also Caucasian people are very racist against us because they will be racist against you. You know that shit. You better say something as well. Don't talk about that people of color alliance if you ain't gonna do shit to help us. You want us to help you, but you want us to help you people, but you don't want to help us. You just want to reap the benefits of our hard-earned work. Fuck that bullshit. Them days are over. So like I said, to you Caucasian people, stop being so damn dismissive and insensitive to fucking people of color's plight. You know there's racism. And if you're not racist, call the shit out. And if you're not going to call it out, then you are fucking racist because you don't want us to have shit. You don't want us to benefit off of nothing. So you want us to be poor and destitute and have nothing. Well, guess what? You are the enemy then. So don't fuck with me. And I won't fuck with you. So shut the fuck up because you know racism exists. So stop being so damn dismissive because that tells me you're a fucking racist.
You know, I'm really sick and tired of many Caucasian people with their white denial. They know racism exists and they know they don't go through what people of color go through. They're just happy to not be victims of it. You know, they like to say we're imagining stuff. We're imagining racism and injustice. So, which they know we're not. It's out there. And they want to call you a racist. When I'm not, can be anyway. For reacting to racism, people of color react to racism and injustice. So we're just reacting to the racism and pain and suffering. Being angry and speaking out against the bullshit and speaking truth to power and holding a certain group of people who are racist and a certain group of people who are prejudiced, we're holding them accountable. But particular Caucasian people, along with the other ethnic groups of color who are prejudiced against people of color, so-called black people, that is. But this goes out to Caucasian people mainly. Holding people accountable is not blaming. It's just holding you accountable for your wrongdoings. Because y'all like to hold us accountable for stuff that's right if it's our fault or not. Y'all blame us for the ills of the world, but we can't blame you for actually having proof and documented facts that you are the cause of the ills of the world and your own ills of the world in your reality and other people's realities. You can call me a radical, say I'm filled with hate. No. Speaking truth and holding a group of people accountable is not hate. Where do y'all get this stuff from? And me holding a certain group of Caucasian people accountable, which is the vast majority, since it's going to be a generalization, since it's more than 50%. There's a lot of you who are racist. 95% of y'all are racist, and 5% of y'all are not. And that's real. So if you're not racist, separate yourselves. But don't be in denial about it. If you are defending racism and Caucasian supremacy and white privilege, then you are a racist. And you are a big time Caucasian supremacist. You know it's out there. You're not imagining nothing. If you will walk in our shoes, people of color and other non-Caucasian people's shoes, you will know it's out there. But you have to pretend it's not. So to people of color and other ethnic people of color, but particularly so-called black people, do not join the men's rights movement. Do not join the feminist movement. Do not join the gay and lesbian movement, and with transgenders included. Don't join the LBGT movement. Don't join MGTOW. Don't join movements that are run and controlled and started by Caucasian people. So when I hear a Caucasian person, particularly a Caucasian female, bitching about sexism, tell her she's imagining. It's in her imagination. When I hear a Caucasian male bitching about misandry and how he's getting fucked over by the court system, It's just in his imagination. You know, when he has his baby mama raping him for child support, or he has his ex-wife raping him for alimony and child support and taking his kids away. Don't ask so-called black men to help you and so-called black people to help you. Period. You're victims of paternity fraud. You're victims of false accusation of rape, and this goes out to the weakest link of Caucasian supremacy of the men's movement. But the same, even though I support men's rights, but I know better. I know the vast majority of these many men's rights male activists, MRAs, are closet racists. And I know damn sure the feminist movement to you so-called black women who you like to support and join in cahoots with and be all that women's empowerment sisterhood bullshit. These Caucasian females are just using you for numbers. They don't care about your issues. When it comes down to when they talk about rape, misogyny, the pay gap, when these bitches, Caucasian females, make more money between so-called black men and black women combined, and other people of color. I see a lot more Caucasian women in positions of power aligned with Caucasian men promoting the racism and discrimination. Fucking people of color over. And that's real. I see, where are you Caucasian women suffering at? I see y'all as lawyers, prosecutors, judges, doctors, lawyers, teachers, politicians. But yet you're the same females who voted for Donald Trump. Almost 60% of y'all voted for Trump. So you stand by your man no matter what. No matter if he's a womanizer, he's a baby daddy, deadbeat dad, he's an abuser, child molester, rapist, murderer, thief, committing acts of violence, heinous crimes against other people, especially if they're a different skin color than y'all are, than y'all motherfuckers are, you Caucasian people are, Caucasian male and female, committing hate crimes against other people. But yet y'all still, but particularly Caucasian women still support Caucasian men. Same with Caucasian males supporting Caucasian females who teach their children racism, since the mother is the first teacher of the child, and then you as the Caucasian father reinforces that racism to your children. So, since y'all want to be dismissive and rude and insensitive, then, and say we're imagining it, then when you all scream out reverse racism, it's in your head too. It's because, just because a person don't like you, that doesn't make them a racist. It's just a person of color don't like you. They just don't like you because of who you are, not because of your skin color. Because of what you have done. And then, and adding insult to injury, since you want to scream reverse racism, tell me when the last time you saw a person of color light a cross in your fucking yard in your fucking white community. How many times have so-called black people lynched y'all? How many times have so-called black people raped your women and children and got away with it? And did perform acts of homosexuality and violence, of butt breaking with other Caucasian males. Sodomy, basically. Not only raping women and children, but raping the men as well. How many businesses, so-called black businesses, have you been denied employment from? How many so-called black banks have turned you down for a loan and refused you a business loan or a fucking grant? How many times have a so-called all-black college at HBCU denied you enrollment in fucking school and got away with it? Practicing institutional reverse racism, which doesn't exist. How many times have you refused service when you went to the doctor, went to an all-black doctor, you were refused health services? refuse treatment because of the color of your skin. Doesn't happen that much. Doesn't happen at all. But when I went to many hospitals and visited so-called white-owned medical facilities, visited so-called white doctors, I got turned away. And y'all want to use technicality, even if I had insurance or not, I seen Caucasian people who didn't have a goddamn insurance and still got treatment. Okay? It doesn't matter. I mean, you got illegals who don't have to pay no medical bills and they come in fucked up. I mean, you go to a car dealership and they're charging extra interest for a car. How many times have you went to an all-black car dealership and they fucked you over because of some credit score BS? Really? I mean, how many times has it happened? You went to a so-called black-owned car dealership, and they denied you a loan, a car loan. Or the bank had denied you a car loan to get a car, or they charge you fucking high interest rate. And then the insurance companies jacking your rates up. A black insurance owned company. No, so-called white-owned insurance companies do that. So-called white-owned dominated auto industries, car places do that. Dealerships. Many so-called white-owned establishments discriminate against people of color and treat them like shit and give them shitty service. It's just ridiculous. So to people of color, I know it's a long video, but I don't care. You gotta understand, when they start complaining about their problems and issues and want you to join forces with them, don't. Just say it's in their fucking head. They're imagining it. Give them a dose of their own medicine. That's how they understand. Because they're used to getting these bitches and bastards are used to getting their fucking way. These pale-skinned Neanderthals are used to getting their way. And when they don't get their way, they kill people or commit acts of terrorism, domestic terrorism towards other people, especially when they had nothing to do with it. Murder, heinous crimes. It's ridiculous. To people of color, don't argue with Caucasian people about racism and race relations. It's a waste of time. The only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, you have to just call out the bullshit and show proof, especially when they pull that reverse racism card. You tell them what I told y'all tonight. Because racism equals power and ownership. You got to own and control stuff. Own and control stuff. Own and control property, banks, corporations, law enforcement, the legal system, politicians, and government to be a racist and benefit off of racism. What I'm telling, y'all want to, Caucasian people, y'all want to say racism is a thing of the past and it's post-racial. It's not post-racial, and it isn't. Because y'all still want to start a race war when we don't want to fuck with y'all like that. Y'all want to start a race massacre and kill niggers and other people of color because to protect your population, because you don't want to intermingle and be intimate with other people of color, because you want to preserve your so-called white race. And there's no such thing as a white race. Europeans are crazy. They want to protect their heritage. They want to protect their DNA. And their birth rates are declining. And it's their own fault. Because you got Caucasian women getting crazy abortions and taking these birth control pills and all these other drugs, making them infertile. Fertility problems. And that's what's happening. All y'all got to do is just show them the proof. Show them the facts. Don't argue with them. Because they benefit off of Caucasian supremacy and racism. And they want to keep their power and privilege. And they want to enjoy they want to be comfortable of their evil doings. And no, that, I mean, Caucasian people are strategizing and looking for ways to kill people of color for no reason. And then the thing is, the reason why they don't want to fund our liberation, give us restitution and 40 acres and a mule, and don't want people of color to own property in real estate, is because they fear that once we get economically empowered and get economic power and independence, they fear we're going to enslave them, commit heinous crimes and genocide against them. They fear what they did to us is what we're going to do back to them. It's about karma. Now, if you Caucasian people say you had nothing to do with what happened in the past, why are you worried about the backlash? Because you know deep down inside you benefit off of slavery, you benefit off of segregation and Jim Crow. You benefit off of hate and evil and genocide and other treacherous wrongdoings. So if you're not racist, you need to separate yourselves from these racists and call out the bullshit. And don't give me that, well, you had a few Caucasian people march with so-called black people and helps you to free y'all when we're still oppressed in a different way. When these same people that marched with us with Dr. King and with other people covered during that time with Dr. King, these are the same Caucasian people who did not want us to move into their neighborhoods, did not want our children to play with their children, and they did not want us to date their daughters and sons. They didn't want us to have reparations. So they just want us to suffer in silence while they enjoy the benefits of being so-called white. Fuck your comfort, Caucasian people. Those days are over. We're going to speak out against this injustice and keep showing the world how evil and treacherous you are. And if you're not like that, you better separate yourselves. And if you refuse to separate yourself from racist Caucasians and defend racism and Caucasian supremacy and white privilege, then you are a racist. So shut up. Fuck you. And like I said, if we're in a post-racial society, why is it when you fill out an application for anything, why do you have to check the box of what your race is? They ask you what's your ethnicity and you got to check that box. So like I said to people of color, do not join the feminist movement. Do not join the LBGT movement. Do not join the men's rights movement, the MGTOW movement, and any form of movement they have. And do not join part in their Christianity and their religions. Don't do it. You know, when Caucasian people are in for a rude awakening, when they get their nigger moment, and don't help these other ethnic groups of color either. When they all get their wake-up call, don't help them. Let them suffer and tell them that they're just imagining it. You know what I'm saying? We as so-called black people need to look out for ourselves and take care of each other and respect one another and work together. And stop trying to be their friends. Stop trying to get them to like us and stop praying. It's not working. Stop forgiving. Make them earn your respect and trust. Okay? So like I said many times, if you're a Caucasian person who's not racist or a non-Caucasian person who's not prejudiced against people like me, so-called black people, and you're not prejudiced, you're not racist against black people, then I'm not talking about you, but you need to separate yourself from motherfuckers who are. Especially Caucasian folks. You need to separate yourselves from the racist ones and stop defending racism, Caucasian supremacy, and white privilege. And call out the BS. Use your privilege to actually fight racism and injustice, social injustices that's going on with people of color in society and worldwide. Do that. So I'm going to continue to address this and speak truth to power. And if you don't like it, then you're obviously the bad guy and you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. I'm part of the solution. Same with you Negro-peeing, handkerchief-head, self-hating coons. If you hate what I'm saying, then obviously you're part of the problem and you are dangerous to my existence and other people of color's existence. You're hazardous to Nubian people, and this is why we're suffering. So I gotta separate myself from you because you're my enemy. And when you get your nigger moment, you're on your own. So at the end of the day, just to people of color, just speak the truth. Just show them what it is. It is what it is. Don't try to change them. They're not going to change. Just make them look stupid for what they are. They are stupid. When the dollar collapses and we have these disasters to my people of color, don't help them. Don't do let's stand together, let's unite. Fuck all that. Because when we needed everybody else to help us and be there for us, they were not there. They were silent and went about their own business. It was business as usual. So like I said, we just got to show the world and continue to speak truth to power and just show the world the truth. And we need to stop praying, stop celebrating these European holidays. We also need to know our history and control our dollar and support each other, and especially practice group economics. Y'all feel me? And like I said to you Caucasian people, fuck your comfort. We're not the get along generation. Them days of yeah massa is over. And if you're not racist and you want to fight the good fight, prove it and separate yourselves from the ones who are racist. And use your privilege to actually help people instead of hurt people and fuck people over. And that's all I gotta say. Like I said, fuck your comfort. I'm out. Peace.